Yo, how's it going, everyone? This is Mitchell Mander here, and it's good to be back. It's been a nice 2-week break away from YouTube, but I'm back as we got some episode summaries for the upcoming Pokemon Journeys episodes finally. We also got a new episode title and summary, and as you can't tell by the title and thumbnail, it has to do with our boy Sophocles, who's making his second appearance in the Pokemon Journeys series. So yeah, let's talk about these upcoming episodes. But before I do that, you know the drill. If you're new to the channel, you like this type of content, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It'd be pretty awesome if you would do that. Okay, so Pokemon Journeys episode 93, it airs next Friday, which is January 14th. It's titled, I think the title for this episode is pretty interesting. It's Your Name is Francoise, which yes, that's the name. That's a French name, which I think is pretty interesting. But anyways, on to the summary. Sakuragi Laboratories aide Renji's Pokemon, Francoise the Coil, which Coil is the Japanese name for Magnemite, is a very picky eater that only absorbs electricity through retro objects, or from retro objects. Watching Francoise eat makes Renji recall an incident that happened shortly after the two had first met. Meanwhile, Magnemite are going berserk in Vermilion City. Francoise is also in danger as well. Can Ash and Go protect Francoise with Renji's help? Okay, the Renji episode out of Pokemon. And yeah, I mean, this episode looks kind of interesting, and hopefully it ends up being a good one. Renji has gotten zero development in Journeys up to this point, and I honestly haven't cared about him. He's kind of lame. And there's a much cooler character named Renji in the Bleach series, which is coming back in 9 months. But that's irrelevant to this video. But anyways, I am kind of interested in this episode. I want to see what type of development that Renji gets. I'm hoping that this ends up being a good one and a memorable one. So we'll see what happens. There's also a chance that Go probably catches a Magnemite. That's probably my assumption, considering the kid wants to catch all the Pokemon. So he might catch a Magnemite or two or something like that. But overall, yeah, this episode, it looks kind of interesting. So we'll see how it goes when it airs on January 14th. Okay, moving on to episode 94, Pokemon Journeys. This episode airs on January 21st and is titled The Heracross Loss and the Pinsir in Love. A Lilligant has just arrived in Sakuragi Park, and Heracross has become attracted to it. Pinsir gets saddened at the sight of this since it's in love with Heracross. The depressed Pinsir starts thinking that things might have been different if it had a pretty flower too. So Ash and Go decide to take it along as they accompany Koharu to a Pokemon Flower Arrangement class held by Celadon City gym leader Erica in order to cheer it up. Will Pinsir manage to win Heracross's attention? Okay, so for this episode, I'm kind of mixed. On one hand, I'm a little bit more interested in the episode now because when we got just the title for this episode, it didn't really look too interesting to me. But the fact of the matter is, Erica's here, so that makes the episode a lot more interesting. But on the other hand, Erica's coming back, and it seems like it's going to developing Pinsir and Heracross here, and not really what I kind of wanted her to come back for. Personally, I wanted Erica to come back to develop Koharu because she has a Leafeon in that trailer that released a couple weeks back. So it kind of made sense to me that with her having a Leafeon, it would go to Koharu and Eevee's development. Instead, it seems like that's not the case, which I find that to be mildly disappointing. But who knows, this might be an enjoyable episode. It's just, I don't know, having a gym leader like Erica return in this manner, I'm not really too fond of it. But I could be completely wrong and it ends up being a great episode. But that's to be seen. Alrighty, moving on to episode 95 of Pokemon Journeys. This episode airs on January 28th and is titled Farewell, the Wandering Rocket Gang. The Rocket Gang, or Team Rocket, spend their days focusing on their part-time jobs so they can raise funds for their operations. Maybe this is why they're absent so much in Journeys. Anyways, and they're also all completely sick of their missions constantly failing. They conclude that the failures happen because the Rocket Gotcha doesn't give them any strong Pokemon. So they decide to follow Pelipper in order to complain to those in charge. But on the way they run into former gang members Cassidy and Biff. Or Bob. Or Hutch. Excuse me, it's Butch. Anyways, which makes them start thinking that there's more to life than the Rocket Gang or Team Rocket. What will happen now? Okay, so I have to say, I'm actually really excited for this episode. It's very interesting based off this summary, and there's a few things to dissect here. So the first thing I want to talk about is Cassidy and Butcher's reappearance here. So I find it interesting that they're actually now former members of Team Rocket. That's actually pretty interesting. It probably is a series' way of explaining why they've been gone for so long, since their last appearance, I believe, was in Diamond and Pearl. So it's been a long time since they've been in the series. So that could be one explanation there. Now, they're quote-unquote former members. There's a chance that maybe they are still part of Team Rocket secretly, and that's kind of their plot in the episode. They're actually plotting something. Who knows? But not only is this interesting, this could also develop Jesse, James, and Meowth. As the episode summary implies, maybe they begin to wonder if they should also move on from Team Rocket. Seeing as Cassidy and Biff over here are no longer part of Team Rocket, maybe they're thinking, hey, we're struggling over here, everything we do fails. Is it time for us to move on? Now, this plotline could possibly go nowhere, and that might be the likely case, but one thing the series could do is start to plant the seeds for Jesse, James, and Meowth to leave the series. Obviously, I don't expect them to leave in this episode, but maybe this plants the seeds, and then maybe down the road they eventually leave. Because if this is the final series of the anime, then they have to send off these characters one way or another. So this could be the series potentially, setting the ground for Jesse, James, and Meowth to leave Team Rocket and move on with their lives. I'm not really certain, but whatever the series does, I'm very interested to see, because Team Rocket and Journeys has been kind of disappointing in my opinion. So hopefully this episode develops them in a really nice way. Also, the Gacha machine just needs to be destroyed. Since they're getting weak Pokemon anyways, just get rid of it. Just saying. So, Pokemon Journeys episode 96, it airs on February 4th and is titled, Reach Space, Ampharos Light. Sophocles has sent for Ash and Go to come to the Moss Deep Space Center in the Hoenn region. He tells them that he and Ampharos are participating in a return project for an asteroid probe, where the probe will be making its return using Ampharos Light as a guide. However, Ampharos fails to turn its lights on, and the shock makes it lose all confidence in itself. Can Sophocles and Ampharos make the project succeed without any complications? Well, this one's a pleasant surprise. I'm actually really happy about this one. I remember mentioning a while back that if past characters in the Journey series return, I want to see what they're up to, how they're developing, their goals currently, and where they're at. And I remember mentioning a while back that I'd be interested in seeing Ash and Go traveling to Moss Deep City and they run into Sophocles, and then we get to see what he's up to these days. This was obviously before the Alola episode aired, but it seems like I got my wish here. So I'm pretty happy in that regard. And looking at this, it looks like it's going to be a pretty interesting episode. And I say interesting because the way this summary presents the episode, it doesn't look like an Ash or Go focus episode, but a Sophocles focus episode, which we haven't gotten since Sun and Moon. So is this same concept going to apply to the other characters within Sun and Moon that potentially could return before Journeys ends? Like Lana, Mallow, Kiawe, and of course Lily with the whole Moen plotline. Are they going to be the main central characters of those episodes or arcs or whatnot? Not really certain, but I like the fact that we're focusing on Sophocles here. And the interesting thing here is it looks like Ampharos is lacking some confidence. And this is where Sophocles could really step up here. We get to see how he developed within Sun and Moon, and see it shown off here. Because if you remember in Sun and Moon, Sophocles was a bit of a scaredy cat. He literally had to have a nightlight on his Togedemaru in order to sleep peacefully at night. Without that nightlight, yeah, he wasn't having a good time. But over the course of Sun and Moon, he eventually overcomes his fear, and that actually earns him a Z Crystal, which was pretty cool. I really enjoyed Sophocles. I know there's a lot of people that really don't like Sophocles and they just consider him fat Clement, which I think is kind of silly in my opinion, to disregard him just like that. I think he's actually gotten some pretty nice development. He had some pretty nice focus episodes, in my opinion. I know some people are going to disagree with me there, but, that's my opinion, so whatever. But I'm actually really interested to see what happens here. This could show off how Sophocles' development really affected him, and then it rubs off on Ampharos. I think it's going to be interesting to see, so yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this episode. But I have to say, after getting this episode, when are we getting Lily's episode? Because we really need to wrap up that plot line there. Alrighty guys, that's all I got for today's video. So in the comment section down below, let me know what episode you're most excited for. And let me know your thoughts on each episode. I'm very interested to see what you guys have to say. Also, if you're new to the channel, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And have a great day or night wherever you're at. I'll see you guys later. Bye.